Well, friends, we made it to Gen 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are back again, welcome. If you are new, welcome. This video is going to be discussing all of the changes from Gen 1 to Gen 2. So, let's do it. Monster Hunter DOS, the second Monster Hunter game, the second main series game. When Capcom developed Monster Hunter 2, they really built off of the foundations of the first game. They wanted to take everything that worked really well, keep it in, and then also polish things and add a lot of new things as well. So they ended up having a brand new town called the Jumbo Village. They added a day and night cycle, they added seasons, they added new elements, they added new monsters, they added new weapons, they added old weapon improvements, they added better armor additions, they added PVP, they added so many different things in this game. And a lot of them were either left behind or kind of refined and implemented in other games. Let's get into the details and exactly what changed between Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter 2. Monster Hunter 2, or Monster Hunter DOS. This was a Japanese exclusive Monster Hunter game that came out in February of 2006 on the PlayStation 2. I think the best place to start for Gen 2 would be our new village, the Jumbo Village. This is the new single-player village where you take on any quests, but it has a little bit of a spin this time. There isn't a farm, per se, like they added in to the first game, but there is an ability to level up different segmented areas of your village. For instance, the tavern can level up, and if you level it up to a certain point, you can play mini-games at the tavern, such as drinking games with the Riverian lady, or you can play the arm wrestling game, which is so iconic in the series. You can also level up your smithy as well. As soon as you hit level 2, you can improve your armor and slot in gems, which, by the way, this is the first time gems are actually, or decorations are actually appearing in Monster Hunter. There's also a shipyard which you can travel back and forth to Kokoto Village, which is the first game's village. You can only do this after you completed Lunastra, so you'll have to beat her first, and then you'll have to finish the shipyard manager's red bubble requests. After that, you can access Kokoto whenever you like. There's also a fishing corner where you can use your own fish bait and acquire fish, or you can do the same with mining, except you don't do it yourself. There's a mining cave where you actually give a miner some pickaxes and they'll mine for you. And an item shop, because you always need an item shop, but it's a little different this time around. The item shop actually has ingredients for you to buy for your meals, because you have to buy your own ingredients for your food meals that give you buffs. So you would have to buy your own ingredients and then take them to the chef for them to prepare the meal for you. And lastly, on the Jumbo Village, there is a wanted board that will offer you extra money for hunting specific monsters. So if there's a monster on that wanted board, if you hunt that monster, you'll actually get an additional bounty or reward for hunting that specific monster. This is a very cool feature because they actually implemented this much later down the road in Monster Hunter World as bounties, and there wasn't anything like this except in Monster Hunter 2. That is the Jumbo Village, but Monster Hunter 2 gave us 2 villages. Well, I guess the second one is actually a town because it's huge. We got Dundorma Town in Monster Hunter 2 for the entire online gathering hub. I should refine that and say there are multiple gathering hubs inside Dundorma, and Dundorma is this massive town which you can go to, and it's huge, yeah. And if you've played Monster Hunter 4, Dundorma is actually in Monster Hunter 4. However, it's much larger in Monster Hunter DOS. Crazy, I know. I actually read online that there is a separate gathering hub for low rank quests and for high rank quests inside Dundorma online. So that's pretty awesome. And there's a bunch of other, I think there's like almost a total of 6 different rooms, 6 different areas It's very large and expansive, and it's very cool. So let's talk about a little factoids of the game. In Monster Hunter 2, they introduced the ice element, and they would use it for their flagship monster, which we'll get to in a bit. This is the first game that they actually added subquest objectives during quests, so you could complete a subquest and get a little bit of extra money after you complete the quest. A very cool feature. They also added the option for an upgradable house. So this is the first time where you're actually able to upgrade your house, which is a very cool feature and one that would be really awesome implemented later in World and Iceborne. They also added a feature in the game where you can pickle ingredients. I'm fairly certain you pickle ingredients to make a new ingredient, which are all for meals, but it is very strange that they give you an ability to pickle ingredients. Yeah, that's an odd one. This is also the only Monster Hunter game that some combinations required 3 items, which is very strange. And also, some item combinations could have the same result with different combinations of components. You could make a potion 2 different ways, for instance, which is implemented in later games down the road, but no other games required 3 items for complete combinations. Alright, let's talk about one of the brand new features in Monster Hunter 2, which was the day and night and season system that was introduced in the game. This affected which monsters spawned and which quests could be taken at that time or during that season. Each season also dictated the monster's behavior and the materials that you could get from that quest. There were 3 seasons: the warm season, the cold season, and the breeding season. The warm season was more of an ideal time for hunting because more carnivorous monsters were active. This was also a time where you cannot take quests at regions like the desert because it's too hot. During the cold season, because monsters are hungry and cold, they act more aggressive, so it's a good time to obtain rare monster materials. Also, you can't go to really cold areas like the snowy mountains during this time. The breeding season was a time when carnivorous monsters are least active, so it's the best time to gather materials from the field. Monster Hunter 2 also got new maps such as the new jungle, the new desert, the new volcano, and we also got the snowy mountains. Those are the general areas that were in Monster Hunter 2, and they also got some new additions such as the town, which was for hunts like the Lao Shenlong and the giant enemy crab. Monster Hunter 2 also got the tower, which was for fights such as the Yamasukami. Speaking of the Yamasukami, let's talk about the monsters in this game. The new monsters in Monster Hunter 2 were the Blanganga, Bulldrome, Kongalonga, Daimyo Hermitar, Geodrome, King Shakalaka, Rajang, Shengoren, Shogun Senator, Chameleos, Kushala Deora, Rusted Kushala Deora, Lunastra, Teostra, White Fatalis, and Yamasukami. The flagship monster of the game was the Kushala Deora, which used the brand new ice element. And here is a list of all the monsters in the game in case you're curious about which monsters returned. Now, let's talk weapons. We all need things to beat up these monsters with, so let's talk new goodies and improvements to old goodies. Let's start with the improvements to the old goodies. Let's start with the sword and shield. The sword and shield can actually now use items while the sword is drawn, so you don't have to put your sword and shield away to use a potion, to use a demon horn, whatever it is. You can actually use it while your sword is drawn, which is very handy. The greatsword got the ability to charge up its attacks, so it finally has its signature move throughout the series, the charge swing. The charge swing actually enabled players for the first time to be able to headlock monsters, which became rather popular. Oh my god, how do I explain this? Headlocking is when you hit a monster with a max charge draw swing and you get it to fall over. And while it's struggling, you prepare the next swing, and as soon as it gets up and the animation is over, you hit it again right on the face and it falls over again. And you can rinse and repeat this cycle over and over again. And there are many hammer improvements, such as the fact that they added stun into the game, so you can actually stun a monster and knock it over with KO, and an improved golf swing, which is a little bit faster. And finally, the lance has a faster stab combo. Alright, let's talk new weapons for Monster Hunter 2. We got 4 new weapons in Monster Hunter 2, the longsword, the gun lance, the bow, and the hunting horn, if you even want to count hunting horn as a weapon. No, it's a real weapon. But for real, about the hunting horn, if you want to see the notes that affect the melodies you play that actually give you the buffs, you have to buy an item that lets you see the notes at your house. Otherwise, you can't see the notes for your hunting horn, and you just will have to play it to find out what you get. They also added some armor improvements to the game. What I touched on earlier, I said they added decorations to the game and slots into armor for decorations. They also added upgradable armor. So this is the first time in a game where you were actually able to upgrade your armor as well as your weapons. And this is the first game where you're able to name and label registered armor sets. Very nice. Extra added convenience there. And by far, in my opinion, the coolest feature in the game is they actually have PvP. Whoa. This has never been in a Monster Hunter game other than Monster Hunter 2 and Monster Hunter Frontier Online. So for the fact that it's actually in this game is really, really cool. I'll go over the basic premise of PvP in Monster Hunter 2. So the idea is that any monster that you captured in your game, you could use that monster to fight in PvP. So it'd be a one-on-one battle, and it's not actually you versus a hunter, it's you versus the monster the other hunter brings in. So you each pick a monster, and the first person to take out the other person's monster wins, essentially. Very cool idea. Whew, that was a lot to cover. But that was all of the changes they made for Monster Hunter 2. If I missed anything, let me know, please. I am interested. This is the game I know the least about because I never got a chance to play it because it never came out to the West. So, if you enjoyed the video, please share it with a friend of yours who enjoys Monster Hunter, or share it with your Discord community, all your social media platforms. All of that would be greatly appreciated, as I am a new YouTube channel, so any help that I can get is very much appreciated. Alright, thanks guys. Take care. Goodbye.